Hello, this is Act 3 of my Mania in the Blue Hills musical slash not musical. Each act kind of had a different form. This third act takes the form of 3/4 activities designed by my manic mind to spark inspiration and creativity. Anyway, Act 3, you need 3 items if you're going to follow along with Act 3. You need a picture of a frame or some kind of frame that you can write on. Then you need a map that you can write on, and then you need a third item that you can write on that has some special energy to it for you. I used a book of poetry when I was in the Blue Hills. So, Activity 1, take your picture of a frame or your frame that you can write on and just start brainstorming every inspiration you can think of. Start, if you're having trouble, just by putting a single stroke on the page and turn that into a word that is one of your inspirations. These can be people, dead or alive, fictional, non-fictional. They can be ideas. They can be books, movies, anything you want. So go ahead and do that. I will show you the frame that I used and how this turned out. I will show you at the end. So then moving on to the map. I think maps have kind of a special energy to them when you write on them. Maps represent, your pathway, and your pathway through life can kind of lend itself to what you wind up creating on this map. There's many things that you could wind up linking as you go off and write whatever you're going to write. I think having the initial framework of this branching network and this exploration that often goes along with the map can really spark some ideas that wouldn't come about if you were just writing on a blank sheet of paper. Again, I will show you the map that I used and what it looked like at the end. And finally, the third activity is to do the same with the object, the book, that you found that had special energy to you, and see how that leads to different kinds of inspirations for your own creativity. So the last activity that I had in mind was not so well defined when I was recording on my phone while it was dying in the Blue Hills, but the fourth one, when people came into this musical that I thought was going to change the world and make a ton of money and whatnot, people would be asked when they came into this musical to fill out a card, and it would ask them to brainstorm the 3 times in their life that they remember being the most creative, and then to write if those times were by themselves, in a small group, or in a large group. And then the people would be seated in different thirds of the auditorium or the theater based on if they had their most creative experiences alone, in a small group, or in a big group. Or if they were a mix of the 3, they could be seated anywhere. And for this final activity, it would be kind of open form to come up with a plan to create something once you left the theater, whether it be that week or the near future, and to brainstorm that either yourself or with a couple partners or in a big group if you were sat in that part of the theater. So that was kind of the conclusion to this Blue Hill Mania idea. It was about a lot of things. It was kind of this explosion of hope I was having as I was coming out of my depression. My antidepressant was working. I didn't know I had bipolar yet. I was about to find out, which is what the next video will be about. And I just thought I was unlocking everything and that creativity was the answer. And that's how this all came out. And don't worry, it gets even loopier. So I will see you probably tomorrow. And happy creating and innovating and opening of your mind to new possibilities. Goodbye, my beautiful NBs, my strong bipolar friends too, and all of you allies, brazen and free, so long and blessed be.